Hi everyone, welcome to our Mixed Media Monday for this week. It is the first Monday of August, yay! And I don't know if you saw it, but I helped my mum and dad design the first edition of the Creative magazine for Scrapbook Fantasies. It's on our Facebook page. I'm just letting you know that now because I honestly love how it turned out. Some things just work, and that magazine definitely did. So there will be one in September as well. And if you have any like mixed media or art journal pages or anything like that you're really happy with and all the rest of it, you can send it to us and we can include it in the next magazine, because the mixed media section will be having a few more, at least one more page, so we can put a few of your works in there too, because like we're all about inspiring. So this was last week's. This week we're going to do some work with this rust paper from Patchwork Friends. We've got this chipboard flowers and these rose and dot stencils which I've drawn, and I'm pretty impressed with how this rose and dot stencil turned out, to be honest. Now, I am pretty wary that when I flip the page, the damage I've done to the spine is becoming really obvious here. Like, I've got a bit of a, hello, Mr. Flappy going on there. So what I think I'm going to try and do is I'm just going to try and crack the spine. We are in the middle, well, I am in the middle of talking to my dad about how we can make a better art journal than the ones that we use in these classes. So then, yep, there we go. We've got a easier system. We can have a bit more fun. So what I've done is, I don't know if you can see this, but if you do end up ever using collage that's not exactly great for your art journal, you can kind of snap where the spine is glued to just the first bit of the pages. The trick is trying not to snap this bit here, which is why if you've actually painted your cover, it has more strength in it. So when you snap it, you've actually got the strength that it's not going to snap this bit off. It's going to keep it on and just snap the pages bit off. So that's what you want. You want to keep that intact while snapping it. And I've managed to do it this time. I've done it a time before where I've actually like snapped the covers clean off. As you know, I don't always give my art journals the best treatment in the world. Like, sometimes I'm a little bit hands-on. And, things happen. That's how it works. I think we're going to start off by coming in and doing a little bit of our stencil. See how the stencil looks? But yeah, so just had to do a bit of fixeroo there. So this one here is the light purple Montmartre acrylic paint. It's not lilac, it's a little bit darker than lilac, but it is light purple. So we're just going to come in with our gesso brush and no glumpy glues on the paintbrush. And well, I want to see how this stencil works out. This is the first time I'm ever using the stencil. I cut it over the weekend on Redshaw, the laser machine, and yeah, I had to go in and redesign this one a little bit, because the first time I cut it, the dots turned out just to be little, not exactly dots. Yeah, it was a moment, a learning curve, I like to call it. Sometimes you got to do things to learn. So I think a bit more here as well. So I'm not adding water to my gesso brush while doing this. Oh, I didn't hold my stencil down properly. That's okay. What I'm doing is I'm doing it with a dry brush. And by not adding water means I can stencil with it. If you add water to your gesso brush, I'll quickly show you, so you don't do it at home. So I'm going to add some water. Let me see if I can get that water a bit more in shot. So that's better there. So I'm going to add some water. Like, and even if you come in and you scrape some of the water off, let's do it here. Holding it down like a pencil, ruler. When you lift it up, the paint's just gone underneath the stencil because of the water on your paintbrush. So that's what you've got to be careful of, is when you use water on the gesso brush, it no longer, what's it called, can be used as stencil because it's just too liquidy. So we're just going to move that one. But yes, this stencil design has been on the cards for a bit of time. So I had to redesign this one. Just a little bit. Sometimes you got to get like the right flow with sizing. And I'm just going to come and spread out this really liquidy purple to a few other spots. Give it a good little smush around. There's our page so far. We're going to put it off to one side and let it dry. I am pre-recording this class during the day, so not in the early morning. So we should be able to do a few more wet activities. A lot of the times when I record the Mixed Media Monday classes, it's like 5 a.m. in the morning. And that's just because I actually really like to paint either early in the morning or just before I go to bed. I find myself really inspired at those times. It doesn't happen often during the middle of the day. Also because I work for my parents, the shop. But the bonus of working for my parents at the shop is that I get to design all these stencils and stamps and everything. Like my dream a couple of years ago, back in, I think it was 2022, one of my videos, if you go and watch back to there, I had a long list of stencils that I so wanted to design and cut for myself. One of them was a brick with a bit more grunge than what I had seen on any other stencil. Another one was the flower petal and the village stencil that were just released a few weeks ago, or in the last couple of weeks. One of the first ones was a butterfly swirl, which is in the border stencil sizing. That was also one. And just some really cool patterns to use, and you know, so that's, yeah, the stencil that I've had. So those were my plans, and you know, now I'm able to. I'm actually thinking I'm going to switch this around. So these two go like that. What do you think? Keep them that way. I could make one upside down and just go completely opposite. That's nearly dry. Perfect. So we either go it this way or this way. These are the questions. And don't worry, we're going to make these kind of see-through so we can see our stencil pattern below. But I am going to come in and just rip off a bit of excess. I'm not feathering it, just because we're about to come and do some paint on it. So feathering wouldn't be really purposeful right now. Okay. Yep. That looks good. Just got a bit more of the margin there left to pull out. There we go. Okay. So let's come and do this. What we're going to do is we're going to grab our metallic acrylic pink. So these are the metallic acrylic color. So They're completely translucent. They just hold the metallic shine. And we're going to use this one here today to stick down our rice paper. Get plenty in a tube, and we're going to use our wet gesso brush. And we're going to come in, and it's going to be kind of a thinnish coat, kind of not a thinnish coat, because what it's going to do then is it's going to act as our glue, but also a shine through our rice paper, and we can still see our pattern below. But the difference between using this and using our gel medium map is that we're going to get a pink finish through our rice paper, A, and B, we're going to have this shine come through. Really lift it as we go. So we're just going to come in with the gesso brush, paint around the edges, get it all in there. And then what I think we're going to do is we just come in and we want to rub some of this off. Where's a piece of dry gauze? Let's not waste the paint. Let's use it. It's a piece of dry gauze. We're just going to come in and lift some of the pink acrylic. Really get it in there. Okay, and now we come in. We just need to dry this, I think. Really get it nice and dry so then we can come in and get our bits and pieces on top. I don't know if I'm going to use the chipboard that I originally had planned to either of this, because I now have a different idea that's come around. I just got to find the heat tool. There it is. Mum and I are currently sharing a heat tool in our area. So it travels between the desks. It's like a traveling heat tool. There we go. So just going to come and dry this. And we can really start to see that shine come through our rice paper. It just, instead of having just a matte finish, we've got a shine finish, which I really do like. Just peeled off a piece of gauze that had come loose on, obviously it stayed on the page. Okay, so now what I'm thinking is, I know this is going to sound completely mad, but what I want to do is I want to come in and I want to add even more dark to it, and then I'm going to come and add light. So what we're going to do is we're just going to come in first and get rid of the water off our stencil. Shouldn't be too big of a problem. Just come in and use a cloth that you do not love. Key thing there is like if there's a cloth that your mum gave you, or like a tea towel that's got, I don't know, we have like these tea towels from prep and all the rest of it. Don't use one of those ones. They're important. you know, they hold memories. Here's a cloth that can be used as a rag later on in its life. Okay, here we go. So we're gonna come and add even more dark to it by mixing in a bit of the metallic purple color with our light purple color we already had on our creative palette. I've had a bit of a gloppy glue on one side, so I just need to kind of fix that up. There we go. And then, once again, coming in and layering it on. It is going to start to look a little bit, oh my gosh, overloaded. But that's what we want. It's just all a part of the layers. So you kind of have to like overdo it essentially on this layer. So we can do the next layer. So really come and go like, ah, at the end. So like that there. It's like, oh my gosh, what have we done? To give you an example, what I mean is, by overdoing it, it's kind of like this, where it looks absolutely mozzarated before we come in and make like a few small shadows, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's amazing then. So that's the point of overdoing it. So we're just going to grab a bit of this metallic. I'm really into metallics this week. Some weeks I don't really want to use a metallic, but this week I'm like metallic all the way. And then we're just going to come in with this sage metallic green. Come in, finger, and just give it a bit of a shine in a few spots. Not too many. I think like 3 to 5. I do like odd numbers, but sometimes we break that. We just, it depends. Yeah, I'm feeling. Remember, if you don't like a step, you don't have to do it at home. You can skip that step. Okay. And then we're going to come in with metallic pink. And what I think we need is do we have one of the mini markers? That's the fish, the sun, and the egg. I thought we had a mini marker. Oh, we could do a mini marker bunny. What do we think, a bunny or a butterfly? Actually thinking a butterfly. Just, yeah, because a fish are gonna, oh, we could do a beat. No, let's do a butterfly. So mini marker butterfly. Just put it on. A bit more on. So just a little bit of paint. I'm trying to show you It keeps trying to refocus it away. So a thin layer of paint on our mini marker. And typically I can do like 2 stamps and then just reload. And we're just going over the top. So when you think you've done enough, add like 3 more. Letting go, having fun, getting lost in the process. God, I love paint. Everything can be fixed with paint. Paint, 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 paint. Okay. Gonna put the pink up there. Gonna put the pink down there. Oh, sorry. Sorry, the camera view. And a bit of the pink here. Okay, now. What are we? Okay. I think we may be ready to start adding in the lights. It is looking pretty. Yeah. I want to go with the word heavy. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab our light modeling paste. We're using light modeling paste because it's nice and it's got a bit of body to it. So when we come and put it on top, it should stay white and not what's it called? Mix with the bottom layers. You could do this with just regular white paint. However, it might mix a little bit with the bottom. We want kind of a very clean layer over top. The other option is that you can wait for it to dry and then use white paint, which is, you know, I don't have the patience for that. So that's why we do ours in like 1 hour and we're done. That's why we do live classes, because I like to kind of start and finish a painting in a session. It's very hard for me not to finish a painting in a session. I'm trying to get better at it, but on these classes we do. So let's see, we want a bit here. Is this dry? Hold up, we're just gonna heat tool this real quick. We might heat tool it, yeah. Heat tool, heat tool, heat tool. Just making sure the cord doesn't get into the creative palette. And then let's just come in and heat this. Got a few flakes from the modeling paste tub that we don't want. Okay. Now, let's have a play. So we're going to put this one down like so. Grab a bit of our modeling paste, not too much. Okay, yep. And come in. Spread it out. And lift. And oh my gosh. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so then we're just going to come in, and I think we're going to neaten it up a little bit so that it's not so much over the door. Then let's come in and put, I feel like we want this flower here right there. So let's grab a bit. We also want a bit down here. Now, it is really crucial, especially with this sort of stencil where you got really small dots, when you use like modeling paste, that you do give it a good clean afterwards. A bit of a soak in the sink, you know, let it have a bit of a soapy bath. It's always my go-to. Yes, okay, and then I reckon if we do a smidge here and maybe none up the top, okay? A bit controversial, perhaps. So just a smidge there, right, lift. Okay. Now let's sit that stencil somewhere where we can make sure we can go and wash it in a second. And then just before I create any more spine damage after we spent the first few minutes trying to fix our spine. Just, you know, give up on the palette knife, there we go. Then I'm just going to come in, I'm going to rub some of these edges away. And then what we might come and do is I'm just going to grab my burnt umber watercolor pencil from the set. Just come in. You really want to make sure your rice paper is dry before doing this step. Just gonna outline where the edges of it are. The door. That's what we're looking for. I'm gonna come and do the same over here, and then we'll wet it and spread it out. So I think we might actually need a little bit more. It's going to be very subtle. Once we start painting it. Okay, there we go. So now, let's just grab our paintbrush and a bit of water. And activate that pencil. And just lightly move it. Just ever so lightly. Move the shading. What we're going to come and do just the light modeling paste. Going to come in, add a bit of it to a few choice spots, but very lightly. I don't want a thick adding of the layer. I just want it to be quite a small layer add. So what we're going to come and do is we're actually going to grab a bit And we want a very thin layer on our finger, so when we come and add it to our doors, it lightens it, but at the same time doesn't get rid of the metallic shine that the light pink has given us. Just ever so lightly making it lighter. And then come and do is once again over here. Just grabbing a bit, putting a bit on our hand. Had a bit much. Originally went down. Okay, and then what we're gonna need, so I think if we grab this purple, come in and we just, I don't know if you can see that, 1 minute, let me lower you down a bit. Oh shoot, I've got paint on my rig. Well, not paint on it, but paint in the joints of it, because you know nothing is safe from paint on my desk. So yeah. Okay, let's grab this paintbrush again, and we're just gonna come in. Paint it. We go, and then we grab a bit of the metallic pink and a wet paintbrush. Just come and slide it in a few spots where we're supposed to have a bit of shadow, bit of darkness. And I can do that bit with my finger. I can do that bit with my finger. There we go. And then what if came in just with a bit of the sap green, acrylic ink. I'm going to put a bit of it down on my palette there. Where's our super thin paintbrush? Come and grab a bit of it. We just come in and do like a little bit of fakey text. A bit of it here. A bit of it here. And then grabbing our fan brush. Yeah, I definitely don't think we need the chipboard flowers. Just saying. Sometimes I forget how quickly an art journal page can fill up. So there's that one there. A bit of our flex, and then I actually think of our purple. Just come in. I kind of get the purple to interact the rice paper for drawing like love hearts / butterflies, but not detailed ones, just little ones. Okay, now what do we think? Do we think we're nearly done? I think I'm just going to smudge the edges here just a little bit. Get a bit of the modeling paste I've got left on my finger. Just give it a bit of a smudge. Yeah. What do we think? Okay. And a bit more over here. More here. There we go. Just as a heads up, in a couple of weeks' time, I will be doing a video about some do's and don'ts with some materials, as we've had a few more customers come in and inquiries online about spraying alcohol ink. You should not spray alcohol ink. Alcohol ink should not be going in a spritzer bottle and then being sprayed. We will be going over that one in particular. It's quite scary. You definitely don't want to spray alcohol ink. There's this health concerns. It's like a no-go. So we'll be doing some, I'll be doing like some breaking some myths down for everyone in the next couple of weeks. I don't know if that will be pre-recorded or not. I have a list of questions that we get frequently asked that, you know, like lots of people call paper different things. So, for example, our rice paper slash collage paper that we use in our classes here, some companies call it tea paper because it's quite thin and it's kind of like the paper on tea bags. So especially from other countries. So we're just going to go through a few things on the myths and all the rest of it. So if you do have any questions, just message me them and they can be added to the list for that video. But yeah, that's in a couple of weeks' time. And I'll give a bit more notice about that over the next, like I said, couple of weeks before we do it. But that one there, I think, is our mixed media page for this Monday. It is, as you can see, by adding the lots of different layers of darks behind it first and really going over the top, when we put that modeling paste flowers on top, they just sit so beautifully on top and it's like a highlight of the page. And then by us lightly putting a little bit of the modeling paste on our two doors, it really just makes it like come up and into the flowers, and that was the aim. So thank you for coming. I'm now going to go and wash my stencil slash give it a bit of a soak because I don't want any of the modeling paste still on it, so then I can use it again, because stencils should be used like at least, I reckon, 500 times before the end of their life, if not more. That is 100% reusable. But yes, so thank you for coming, and I shall see you in our next class, which is next Monday. If you do the Scrapbook Fantasies classes, we have our usual weekly classes, and then this Friday night is pre-recorded because we will be going down to our to Brisbane to see my two brothers. My younger brother is in a play this weekend, so very exciting. We're going to go and see that, and yeah, so thank you all for coming, and have a wonderful day and a beautiful time painting this one. I can't wait to see what you do with it. Make sure you share your photos, and thank you for coming. Bye. See you next time. Thank you. Bye. Have a wonderful night.